Saturday.
Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Welcome into Small Business Saturday. My name's Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. Today, we're going to talk about mindset and how that can help us with our business and us personally. And I know that on Small Business Saturday, we talk a lot about mindset, but here's the reality from my perspective. This is what I believe the truth is. You guys all have all of the nuts and bolts things that you need. What you need is that shift of mindset so that you can believe in yourself, so that you can trust your gut and really show up as your best selves. And negativity is something that we deal with daily, right? A lot of times it's our own creation, the frustrations, the anxiety, all of that stuff. And then other times it's through those relationships that are part of our daily lives. And it's not even coming from they're out to get you. It might just be the way that it is. And that relationship has devolved into that without even knowing. And you can actively do something to change that without getting rid of it. So what we're talking about here today is detoxifying our lives. And that negativity really affects our ability to kind of show up as our best selves. So I'm going to solicit the help of my mentor, Jack Canfield. He's got a video that is on YouTube here that we're gonna watch together, and then I'm gonna discuss protecting ourselves from that negativity and then transforming that toxicity into our own superpower. So you guys saw the consult offer over there. So if you want to check that out, please do so, or you can reach out. And if there's other things that I can help you with, again, if you are an Our Success Group member, you have access to all of that stuff already. But if you want to just dip your toe in the water and check that out, you can head over there. So let's get into this, right? Let's talk about what we're here to talk about. As business owners, we need all things to be working together to find that success that we deserve. So when there are people in our lives who are actively trying to bring you down, or even inactively and not knowing it, holding you back from taking the actions, holding you back from your dreams, when it's that inner voice, right? You need to take action. And so I think throughout the course of our lives, we just get conditioned, I guess would be the word that I would want to use here, to that negativity, right? We get told no as we're growing up all the time. The news media loves to bring out the negative stories because that's what's we're attracted to. Our brains do this because it's a protection mechanism, and it totally is a great protection mechanism that we don't want to get rid of. Right? We need our brains to be aware of the potential dangers that could potentially really hurt us. But it also is trying to protect us from being hurt emotionally too, because our subconscious brain operates on emotions. And so it's trying to protect itself from any of those negative emotions. But, what ends up happening though, is then we get those folks that just love to complain, love to talk about other people, love to commiserate excessively and never really take responsibility for their actions, right? It could be business partners. It could be significant others. It could be industry members, people on Facebook that you interact with, your parents, your kids can even get sucked into that trap. And so it's our responsibility to kind of take control of that environment. And as I mentioned, even our inner voices can be that toxicity. Maybe we're the ones that tend to complain. I know I have my fair share of opportunities where I go, gosh, Aaron, that was why, right? Why are we complaining about this? That's in the past. How can we find solutions and move forward? And so that inner voice, we need to take action from that and turn that inner voice from that inner critic into an inner coach. So to do that, I want to go ahead and watch this video together, and then come back and let's just discuss it and see what you guys think. I'm going to share my thoughts, and hopefully we can then start putting those things into action and turn that negativity into our superpower. So let's do that, and away we go.
And sometimes, hi there, I'm Jack Canfield. We all aspire to do, be, and have great things, but sometimes it feels like there are things beyond your control that are holding you back. And sometimes those things aren't really things at all, but people. So today I want to talk about what you can do when the obstacles on your path are toxic and the negative people who are trying their best to drag you down to their level and keep you from achieving your full potential. So the first thing I'd like to do is take a minute to consider the people who you spend the most time with in your life. Your family members, the people at work, your friends, your neighbors. And I want you to ask yourself the question, who among them belongs to the Ain't It Awful Club? You know the kind of people I'm talking about, the ones who are always complaining about everything and who are blaming others for their circumstances and their lack of results. And the ones who are always judging others, spreading negative gossip and talking about how bad everything is. The dream stealers who tell you that your goals are unrealistic and impossible to achieve, and they try to persuade you and dissuade you from believing in and pursuing the life you most want to live. Now, if you have toxic people like this in your life, here's what I want you to do. If you haven't already reached the point in your self-development where you're no longer allow negative people to hold you back with your victim mentality and their mediocre standards, you have to free yourself from their negative influences at all costs. Otherwise, they will stand in your way of you achieving your dreams. Now, if it's impossible for you to free yourself from them completely, maybe they're your coworkers and you're currently stuck in your job, or they're a family member who you have no choice but to live with or take care of. But there's still a lot you can do to shield yourself from their negativity and to liberate yourself from their hold on you. You can do some form of meditation to help you realize that you don't have to attach yourself to their thoughts, their words, or actions that might trigger you. One that I learned early on in my life is that when you're with people being negative and it's difficult to get away, is to imagine yourself surrounded by a giant eggshell of white light. Imagine all the negativity bouncing off the outer boundary of that light. Now, another thing you can do is to build your self-esteem through personal development workshops so that you have the resilience to withstand any attacks on you. It will help you develop an I can mindset. You can also use something called EFT, or a emotional freedom technique, referred to most often as tapping, to release any negative thoughts or beliefs any toxic people may have tried to instill in you. Now, this is a powerful tool for building and maintaining your emotional resiliency. In fact, I have a video on my YouTube channel that will introduce this simple but powerful technique to you. Another thing to do is to limit the amount of time you spend with toxic people as much as possible. You know, I had a client who didn't want to go home for Christmas holidays because his brothers and sisters were so toxic and negative. However, he didn't want to hurt his mother because he really loved her and enjoyed spending time with her. So what we decided for him to do was to not go home for Christmas holidays, but then visit his mother alone a week or two after everyone else had left. At the same time that you're setting boundaries with the toxic people in your life, it's also important to actively seek out more positive, kind, nurturing, encouraging, affirming, supportive people, and people that are into goal achieving, and spend more time with them instead. It's commonly believed among psychologists and coaches that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're going to be great, you have to start spending more time with great people. So I want you to make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive, nourishing, and uplifting people who believe in you, encourage you to go after your dreams, and applaud your victories. And over time, the toxic people in your life will no longer have the same impact on you. Now, another thing that will free you from the negative impact of toxic people is to let go of the past. If these toxic people have hurt you in the past and you're still holding on to that hurt and pain, that means that they still have emotional control over you. You're allowing them to still keep you small and wounded. And the best way to take back your control and liberate yourself from their influence once and for all is to let the past go and forgive them if possible. Now, when you release your past hurts, your anger, and your fear, you open yourself up to embracing a better future. And the energy you've been using to hold on to anger and resentment now becomes available to you to create more of what you want in your life. You know, I've known people who have forgiven their parents or an ex-spouse and then literally doubled their productivity and their income in the following months. So whether it's in your business, family, or personal relationships, you're always more effective and productive when you come from a place of love and forgiveness. And remember, forgiving someone doesn't mean you're condoning their actions, and it doesn't mean you have to spend time with them or trust them again in the future. You just need to learn whatever lessons there are for you to learn from that, release them from any further expectations, and then move on. Letting go of your hurt and anger is what takes you out of the past and puts you back in the present, where you can forge ahead and create the future that you want. And finally, I want you to remember that ultimately you are 100% responsible for your life and your results. Now, you may not be able to control the actions and behavior of the people in your life, but you can control how you respond to them. So I want you to understand that only you can let go of your own limiting beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of achieving in life. You will need to give up blaming others for your results or lack of results if you want to change those results and create better outcomes in everything you do. Only you can build self-confidence and motivation that you need to succeed in life. So even if your life has been troubled with the presence of negative and toxic people who've tried their best to hold you back, I want you to realize that only you have the power to keep allowing that or to change that situation for the better. So I want to leave you with a bit of homework. If you have toxic people in your life, I want you to identify one small action that you'll take today to reduce their hold and impact on you. You may want to go to YouTube and choose one of the many meditations on self-compassion that are there. Close your eyes and listen to it. Or maybe you might want to schedule a free consultation with an EFT tapping coach. Or you could decide to go online and download a free resource that will help you build your self-confidence and your self-esteem. Or you could reach out to a positive and supportive person you know and ask them if they'd like to go for a walk or have a cup of coffee with you. Now, whatever your action is, and it doesn't have to be a big one, but it has to be something, and then go ahead and commit to do it no matter what. And then complete that action today before you go to bed tonight. And then keep doing that day after day, small step by small step, and watch how you and your relationships change. And to hold yourself accountable, go ahead and leave a comment below to let us know what action you're going to take. And remember, making a public declaration increases your level of commitment to actually doing it. And I would love to see what you've committed to do to change your life. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, share with a friend who might need it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.
Okay, so there we go. What did you guys think of that information? If you are listening to the podcast version of this, feel free to reach out and let me know your thoughts. As Jack said there, make a public declaration, so you can comment on all that. All right, well, so let's break that down a little bit here and see what we can kind of take out of that. I have some bullet points, but really, we're talking about surrounding ourselves with people who, in my mind, that they do what they say they're going to do. They act as if they're ready for success, right? And as business owners, we want to surround ourselves with that. We need all things working together. We need the people, the relationships, and all those things working in unison. And so this really is about cleaning up our environment, including our emotional environment, that negative stuff that happens inside of our emotional environment. So when people in your life are actively trying to bring you down or hold you back from achieving your goals and dreams, as Jack mentioned there, we have to take action. So, like I said, I've got a few bullet points that I wanted to share with you guys. For those of you that are tuned in a live version, I want to hear from you and what were your number one takeaways from those things as well. So the first part, and I kind of went in chronological order from the start of the video on back. So you guys can jump in wherever you want. It doesn't matter to me. But we've talked about tapping on Small Business Saturdays. If you've spent any time around our success group at all, you know what tapping is. In fact, on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Kylene, my wife, she leads a tapping group. She's got a Zoom link for it. So if that's something that you might be interested in doing, it's a great opportunity to kind of commune with people in the morning, surround yourself with positive people, and learn about tapping. Tapping is a really great tool. So reach out to me on that if that's something that you're interested in. And going from there. Yep, there we go. Wendy says, MOS people hold each other accountable, support, and uplift each other. Absolutely. And that was one of my points too. I love it, Wendy. Woohoo, we're on the same page. All right, so we got tapping. again, just surrounding yourself with positive people every Thursday, except for this last Thursday. Kylene was so busy this Thursday. But most Thursdays, Kylene does a Thankful Thursday at 1 o'clock Central Time in the afternoon. Right here, you can find it on the same channels that you'd be listening to this at. If you're a podcast listener for Small Business Saturday, just head over to liveosg.com, and that'll take you to our YouTube channel where you can find those Thankful Thursday episodes. But again, just an opportunity. The more you surround yourself with stuff, the less room that negativity has an opportunity to get involved. And then Jack talked about surrounding yourself with goal achieving people, right? There's people that want things in life, but then there's people that actually take action, right? And so think hard about the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Are they action takers who are looking for the positive? Or are they people that believe they are owed something, or, waiting for somebody to do something for them, or, just, kind of giving up, right? Saying it is what it is. And that's it, right? I like to say it is what it is when I'm dealing with a negative reaction. And then I go, it is what it is. Now, what action can I take to move myself forward, right? So thinking about that, you want to surround yourself with goal achieving people. Wendy mentioned the Masters of Success group, right? That's again, talk about people that are holding each other accountable, lifting each other up, because it's one thing to, show up on a Facebook group, and that's fine. And I don't have any problem with Facebook groups. There's some fantastic ones out there. I think I saw Cheryl here earlier. She's got one of the most amazing sublimation Facebook groups ever. Lots of lifting up, and it comes from Cheryl. She lifts people up. She's got that mindset of positivity. So that's all fine and good. But when you really want to get into the thick of it, right, you really need to get with people that are heading in the same direction, that you're willing to spend a little bit of time kind of getting to know them. So therefore you can help each other be accountable, right? If I don't know you and I just start going, come on, Aaron, do this. Why are you not doing that? Blah, blah, and just kind of pushing you, you're not going to respond to that. But if you trust me, know that I'm coming from a place that you're going to get the best, right? It's from love. It's from my desire for you to have the things that you want in your life. If you can know, like, and trust me from that level, then when I start going, come on, you can do this, do that. Come on, you get yourself out of that hole. Stop being negative, right? We can hold each other accountable. But when you're just on a Facebook group and some person that you've never really met more than typing on a keyboard, right? So that's where, like, a program like the Masters of Success, getting involved in a group of people that are there to support each other. Mo says trying to get to a point to join an MOS, and Mo, we'd love to have you. So I think you'd be a huge fit for that. So let's whatever I can do to help you get to that point. I'm on board. So there you go. Thank you, Mo. Okay. So surrounding ourselves, but again, talking about goal achieving people, because there's a difference, right? There's people out there that are actively going after things and really kind of showing up, and that's great. But are they doing what they say they're going to do all the time? Or is it always somebody else's fault? Or, is it always get turned around? Oh, well, I didn't do that because I thought you were going to do this, right? Things like that. That's toxicity to me, right? We've got to be around people that are willing to take goal achieving is about taking responsibility for your own actions and not blaming something else on it. Right. I get that there are unfair circumstances. The world is made up of that, unfortunately. And if I could eradicate that, I would do everything in my power to do that. But that's not something that I have control over personally. The only thing that I have control over personally is how I respond to those things, right? There are plenty of times where I'm going, gosh, I'm working really hard at our success group here, and I just don't think people quite get it, right? And I start feeling that negativity creep in. And I have to remind myself that it's not about the outside, it's about the inside, right? Am I doing what I feel is my gift? And if I'm sharing that with the world, then that's the best that I can do. And I'm showing up as my best self as often as I possibly can. Perfect. And then I'm actively looking for other people that are willing to do that, right? That are willing to hold themselves accountable, that are willing to, do more and be more and get above the, oh, that's just who I am thing, right? That's always kind of been a little bit of a drive me crazy kind of thing, right? It's like, well, that's fine. That's where you're at right now. But is that where you want to stay? Great. I'm all about that. You stay there. I want to go here, right? So I think just surrounding yourself with those kinds of people is so important. And then, good morning, Darren. Thanks for being here. And then the other thing that he talked about was kind of letting go of the past. And I think this is a big one in a lot of ways. Not only letting go of the past, of past hurts, past things that happened to us, right? And he talked about like forgiving those people, and then it's not like saying that what they did is okay. It's not saying doing that. This is for you, right? Forgiving people is not to forgive them. They're going to have to deal with that on their own and forgive themselves for anything wrongs that they may have done, right? You forgiving them is for you. That's your ability. That's your superpower, right? We talked about transforming this stuff into our own superpower. Well, when you're hit with negativity, when things are happening to you or that you feel like, that's not fair, if the sooner you can forgive and let go of that, the sooner you're going to have your superpower back, because now you're empowering yourself. You're taking responsibility for that ultimate outcome. And so that's the other part that I really wanted to get into is we've got to forgive others. And then we also have to forgive ourselves. And this is something that I'm actively working on too. And just working through this. So there's a process called RIM. It's regenerative images and memory is what it stands for. But really it's just an unlocking. It's a way that we can kind of allow through guidance. You work with somebody. My wife is actually certified to lead these as a counselor. So if you want information on that, again, let me know. I don't work with her because of our relationship, and it just wouldn't work. I need to work with somebody that I can just let all of that internal stuff go and not worry about our relationship, right? So you need to find somebody like that. And I've done this, and I'm going to be going back, but just kind of digging into some of this stuff that might be holding you back. And you'll be like, the things that come up when you finally let go of that are so odd, right? But then you can kind of start painting the picture backwards. And what I ended up doing is I just kind of like, wow, there were things in my life that, didn't turn out, that I regret an action that I took or whatever. And that stuff's been holding me back. And so I've created kind of something I call an atonement notebook. And it's not really a notebook. It's actually a pad of paper, because what I do is once I kind of identify what that thing was, I get into it. It sucks. It's hard. It hurts. It makes me feel bad. But I write down all the details. I try to go back and experience it as much as I can and just take all that in and write it out. And then, say sorry internally, as deeply as I can, just kind of like energy out to anybody that I feel like I need to say sorry to or anything like that. If it's fortunately, I have not identified anything in my life that has been so bad that I really need to go back and actually physically talk to them. I imagine they've probably just let go and moved on. If there was, but there's things internally that, just in passing. And so this atonement notepad. And so I've done all that. And then once I feel like I've kind of gone back to that and released it and kind of got rid of it, I add a ritual to that, right? And that ritual is taking the paper, it's wadding it up, and it's burning it. And it's this ritual for my subconscious to know that we've let go of that. So that's another way that we can kind of take and turn this negativity, especially the inner stuff, right? That's a great way to do the inner stuff. So that was the other point that I wanted to talk to you guys about. We do have some positive affirmations and things like that that you can check out if you want to go over to oursuccessgroup.com/blocks. And that'll get you some information. It leads into the workshop that we do called Unlocking Your Potential. We do have one left here in December coming up. But if you just go over to Blocks, you can download the affirmations guide, because Jack had talked about that, finding some meditations and whatnot. And then the last point that I have is Jack talked about giving up blaming and complaining and just taking that responsibility back, right? And to me, that's taking our empowerment back, right? I feel like when we can, if you guys haven't heard it before, I'll just share it again. Jack has got his formula that's E plus R equals O. The event plus your response equals the outcome. And the only thing that we have control over is our response. The events are going to happen. We can't change that. So we can only change the response. But when we change that response, then we can ultimately change the outcome. And that's taking 100% responsibility for our own lives, our own responses. And so at first glance, you're like, oh, God, all these unfair things are happening to me and I just have to take it, right? That was the feeling I got when I first heard that. But then as I went deeper into it, I started realizing that, oh my gosh, that's a superpower. Because now all those events can't affect me, because I still have control over my response. So ultimately, I can always make the outcomes that I want. It might be a little bit more of a challenge to do so if the events are such that it's a challenging situation to go through, but nobody can ever change my responses, the way I think about things, the way I act, the way I respond. So I started realizing that that's really super empowering, because it allows me to be resilient of any events that happen. Right. And so if you think about it in that regard, that it's empowering, then wow, what a superpower. So I think you've got a lot of those tools to kind of detoxify. And I want to talk about taking actions, but I want to hear from you guys, those of you guys that are tuned in here. What are your takeaways? What are you going to do today? Right. So let's just talk about the action. Jack mentioned that public declaration. What action are you going to take today to detoxify your life? Right. So for me, the action I'm going to take today is I am going to go through one more thing in my atonement book, right? I'm gonna just give myself a moment. I'm gonna have a little bit of free time later this afternoon, and I'm gonna sit down with that, and I'm gonna go through that, and I'm gonna write through that. So I'm gonna dig into something else deeply, probably starting with a meditation, maybe doing some Zentangles. If you guys haven't heard about Zentangles, it's a great way. It's a great way that I've found for me. I've got that shiny object syndrome, right? Where I'm always chasing different things like, oh, what attention, right? And I try to meditate and I get about 30 seconds and then some other thought comes in and I'm thinking about something I have to do down the road, or, oh, how should I respond to this or whatever. And I always thought that I couldn't meditate. But what I found is when I put my conscious brain onto something else, onto Zentangles, which requires you to kind of be specific and try to make things color in the line, so to speak. I put my conscious brain on that, and that allows my subconscious brain to just be, right? To just meditate, to just be in that moment, because my subconscious brain is actively working on the Zentangle. So I'll share more about Zentangles coming up here pretty soon. I actually have a really cool program I'm going to do with a friend of mine that we're going to do for the Our Success Group community as a way that you can learn about Zentangles. So stay tuned for that, and reach out to me if you're interested in that. So what do you guys have? What's out there for you? What actions are you going to take today? Because that's what I've got for you. I'll go over while you guys are typing in what actions you're going to take or what takeaways you've got. Let me go over real quick the bullet points that I had, and we'll get to what you have, and then we'll just call it a day. So number one, finding something where, yes, you can kind of meditate or tapping as a way to kind of let go, release the negative energies and stuff like that. Kylene does Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, a tapping program with some other amazing people that you are welcome to be a part of. And just reach out to me, and you can get more information on that. Surrounding yourself with goal-achieving people, things like the Masters of Success, or just other people that you can really be around, positive people that you can spend your time with. Because the time that we spend on social media, on watching videos and all that other stuff, those are people that you're surrounding yourself with. And so that's two. Number three is just letting go of the past, forgiving others for actions that you felt weren't right, not for them, but for you, to allow yourself to move beyond that, right? And then having some positive affirmations, removing blocks, forgiving yourself, right? Using my atonement notebook idea or something along those lines. And then maybe possibly coming to our Unlock Your Potential workshop, something like that. So oursuccessgroup.com/blocks. And then finally, just understanding that it's your responsibility to create the environment that you deserve. And that environment that you deserve is one of positivity, joy, and happiness. I always say I don't care. I so deeply care that I don't care if you don't think that you deserve that. I do, right? So use my belief in you. I believe that you deserve to have positivity, happiness, and joy in your life, no matter what your past was. If you got to let go of that. Now, I know as a truth, only you can make that decision. I can want all I want for you. I can want really hard. In fact, I get myself into that. I sometimes feel like I want more for people than they want for themselves. And that's okay, right? I need to do that. That's my power. That's my gift that I need to be sharing with the world. And so I'm going to keep doing that. And if you need to use my belief in you, but you deserve to have that. And so as soon as you make that choice, then you can start taking responsibility for your environment, surrounding yourself with people, doing these things that might seem a little too woo-woo and out there. Try it, right? I thought these things were way too woo-woo and out there. My life has changed dramatically for the better the second I got over my own ego that was keeping me back and said, I said, I can't meditate. I can't do these things, right? I can't go to a men's group and do Bible study or whatever, right? I decided that I'm going to try all of these things and allow my own experiences to be the thing that tells me where to go, where to follow. So that's what I got for you guys today. Make that public declaration of the action you're going to take. Maybe it's not here on this comment. Maybe you're not quite ready for that yet. Make a public declaration. Tag me on it because I want to be there to support you for it and make that public declaration of the actions you're going to take to detoxify your life. Mo, there we go. Releasing. There's so much I need to release in order to move forward. My flywheel slowed down to a snail's pace. Mo, I am so incredibly proud of you. I'm so incredibly grateful for you, for having you in my life, because people like you are why I want to show up even more, right? So thank you so much for inspiring me. And I want you to have that same feeling. I want you to feel that same feeling. So whatever it is that you need to release, make that choice, give yourself that gift because you deserve it. You deserve that gift. Just release it. I know that those things are personal, so there's probably not a whole lot I can help you with in that. But if you need format, if you need help, if you need structure, you can reach out to me anytime. You know that. And if you feel like, oh, I'm bothering him, please never, ever feel like that. Okay? Can we make that promise to each other? I'm making that promise to you. So let's, and I know you're amazing. So I know we're good. Stephanie, great to see you this morning. Thank you for being here. All right. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for a great morning. We will be back next Saturday with another episode. If there's things you'd like to talk about, please let me know. success@oursuccessgroup.com is a great way to reach out to me. But find me anyway. You can find me anywhere. You can message me, find me on Volley, all that kind of fun stuff. Just reach out to me. I cannot wait to talk to you guys and see how we can support each other to get to our idea of success together. All right. Have a great day, everybody, and I will talk to you all next week.